Is the age of romance dead?
Oh yes, it's been dead since the first dating app came out.
I'm assuming, if I go off of what people have said about me, I'm a gold digger who finessed my boyfriend, who I lived with, and wanted to marry me, and still would want to have more kids with me if I wanted to stay with him. I finessed him, and I guess I'm a gold digger.
In that regards of intersexual dynamics between men and women, I'm saying you're not special because you're like every other girl. You want to get resource, time, attention, or whatever it may be, commitment from a man, and a man wants to get sex from you. So when it comes to that, we're talking about biology of what men want from women. You are not special. You are just like every other girl, just like I'm every other guy.
I'm Cam Newton, right?
Okay.
And I ain't gonna lie, I'm not about to hit no DM with no Brittany talking about, hey, yo, what's good, what's poppin', where you at? You in Atlanta? I see you in Atlanta, boom, slide through.
But why not?
Because I don't want to end up in your book.
I never thought about it. I never thought about how men feel. I never thought about, biologically speaking, what makes sense. I never thought about how in marriage, you know, especially if the man makes more, that it's kind of a shitty contract on their end. I know business. That doesn't make sense, you know, unless we're signing prenups, right?
Who's come to be known as the Tinder Swindler.
Tinder Swindler. Tinder Swindler, the popular documentary that chronicles the woeful tales of three women who thought they'd met the man of their dreams on Tinder, only to later say he scammed them out of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
You don't feel bad for them in any way?
I feel bad for something that I didn't done. No, I feel bad for what had ever happened to myself. I want to clear my name. I want to say to the world, this is not true.
Here at this hour with breaking news after the U.S. warned all day of a full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции.
Well, Mika, we've been here for a few hours now, and we've seen a steady flow of women and children arriving from Ukraine. But what you don't see are men crossing into Poland, and that's because Ukraine has said that men from ages 18 to 60 cannot leave the country.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
I'm going to, okay?
But actor Johnny Depp suing his former wife Amber Heard for $50 million over an op-ed she wrote calling herself a victim of domestic abuse. Heard countersuing Depp, accusing him of defamation as well.
With millions of people watching live every day in this trial, it very quickly turned into a spectacle.
Today's verdict confirms what we have said from the beginning, that the claims against Johnny Depp are defamatory and unsupported by any evidence.
What a difference a day makes. Right now I have May 5th at 9:05 p.m. On my clock. So it's odd in a sense because we're just talking in front of a lens and you really don't understand the impact or the reach of how many people that you can touch with the words that just come from our mind. But Kevin was an absolute expert at it. He had an uncanny ability, and I would tell him this, and I'd ask him, how is it that you do this? But he has an uncanny ability to take these complex, abstract issues and our problems and to communicate it in a way that is so clever, that is so decisive. That it impacted so many lives.
Yeah, so actually I'm a nuclear physicist for the Navy.
No.
So I do that in a few days.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, best of luck as you ship out pineapples.
Yeah. Why?
Because he literally didn't tell me any qualities about himself. He's just like, I made a 96 on this. I did this.
Bro, just look at their face. Bro, let's rewind. Look at their face.
Didn't do anything.
Let's keep it real, people. He was boring. You know what I'm saying? He was boring.
People out there are completely boring. All right, men and women alike. All right.
Where your tattoos? Talk with some swag or some thuggish. Tell me you was in the streets.
But we have a weapon.
I'm never take my power.
You know, I used to consider it penis envy, but it's really deeper than that. What we're looking at now is a new gender paradigm, right? And it's a paradigm rooted in this kind of revisionist Black patriarchy narrative where Black men must now be subservient to Black females and LGBTs.
Like, instead of Wakanda, it should have been called Where Are the Men? Because they was not there, they were not present, and the ones that was there was weak.
I got a violation. Okay, they removed my video.
Why has Andrew Tate been banned from the internet?
He's now been effectively banned, though, from the internet.
He's banned from Instagram, Facebook, and very likely he's going to be banned from other places.
So why did Andrew Tate get banned?
They did not tell me. They did not send me an email, no correspondence. I certainly didn't break terms of service. I guess that's why they couldn't send me an email and explain why.
Controversial influencer Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan are arrested in Romania as part of a human trafficking probe.
A few years ago, you had Morgan Stanley, the investment bankers, put out a report that forecast that 45% of prime working age women between the ages of 25 and 44 will be single and childless by 2030, the largest share in history.
So 45% of women are expected to be single and childless by 2030.
There's a report out there about that by 2030, so in 8 years from now, the majority of working women, okay, so that's ages, 25 to 45, right? Working women. By 2030, 45% of them are going to be unmarried and no kids.
And they're choosing men who are horrible. They're choosing men who are the most good looking, who are making the most money, so of course have more options and treat women like crap. And then after they date the crappy guy, they're like, oh, well, all men suck, all men are trash. I want a man who treats me right. Well, you're not giving the men who treat you right a freaking chance.
So women who are 38 years old are gonna look and say, I've been working my ass off since I'm 21 years old. I've been encouraged to go to school, get a job. I don't need no man. I'm gonna become a boss baby CEO. And they're gonna look at themselves and they're turning 40 next year and they're gonna be like, I've got a couple $100,000 in the bank, no man, no kids, a couple cats.
Okay, you have data, and then even some of the data is like 50% of marriages end in divorce. Is like, have we not looked up some of the most recent data? It's just like everything is biased, but it's biased to not lead to long-term success. And if we're honest about long-term success, a lot of this information is not it.
I got a question for you. Do you have car insurance?
100%. I know where you're
All right.
going.
Do you have homeowners insurance?
100%.
Do you have life insurance?
100%.
Do you have medical insurance?
100%.
Did you get tired of your insurance agent talking about the possibilities of you losing your life and being rewarded? Hold on for a second. I know, but don't be a butt person. Here's the deal.
Hi folks, the Filipina P here. And today's question is, what do women think of men who leave their home countries to seek love in foreign lands? Well, apparently there's quite a war of words going on between a certain segment of Western women and men who pursue international relationships. It seems there's a lot of animosity against these guys, with name-calling and outrageous accusations. The conflict centers around a movement called the Passport Bros, who are typically black guys who have gotten fed up with the situation in the West and decided to look elsewhere for a happy life.
Thanks to these men who decided that they're not going to deal with it anymore, they're going to get their passport, and these women who are opening their big mouth to voice how they feel about it, thanks to them, people are realizing that, yeah, black women have a disdain.
Any guy
who goes after a girl significantly younger than them is severely lacking in their life. And I mean that confidence-wise. I mean, like, they are falling short in so many places that is the only place they can turn to feel like they have something on the scale of power.
And ultimately it's predatory. I mean, there's just no way to because you're manipulating someone who is not aware of what they're giving you. And it's unfair.
She is being cycled out of the sexual marketplace. And I think that hits women who are like very attractive women. When they get to that point, they have to find some way to either transition out of that very gracefully, or they fight it tooth and nail.
Because all y'all ever talk about is your exes that cheated on you. That's all y'all ever talk about. And it's like
only talks about that. The regular women that run in.
The women that come on the show.
Oh, good thing I'm irregular and extraordinaire.
But get about myself. I'm 30, single, mom. My checkered past is all over Instagram. You know what I mean? I have people like you who are, she's a hoe, she's literally known for this. Okay. So what would be your advice to people like me then?
I mean, I just think there's consequences for your decisions. And I just think my best advice would be to lower your standards like that, because I just think there's going to be consequences for putting, promiscuous stuff on the internet.
Okay.
And you probably won't get the type of guy that you could have got at 22.
Do you know what, sister? It wasn't meant to be then. Do you know what I'll tell you?
Manosphere, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.